being here, taking time out of your day today. With me today leading the tour will be Dr. Tom Gwynn, principal of Winchester High School, and Peter Lawson, who is the town's facility director. Our goal for the tour is to, we're not going to take you around to every nook and cranny in the building. That would take forever. Well, not forever, but you know what I mean. But we are going to take you to about 8 or 10 different places which we believe highlight the majority of the deficiencies that currently exist in this building. And our goal in the end for these tours is to provide those who attend with as much information as possible about the current existing conditions. I know there'll be questions. We're happy to answer questions as we go. And I think that after the tour, most of you may have already been online to our website. I think if you've been there, you may have questions. After the tour, I would encourage you to go back, because all of the detailed information about the project, what will be done as part of the project, hopefully will bring things together for you. And in the end, I guess our real hope and goal of this tour is that everyone who goes through, when they get to the ballot, will be able to make an informed decision. And that's really our goal. So we think that's important. Sorry.
Good morning. Just when you walk up, you can see some of the jump out deficiencies. The building here is very stable. It's on pilings, doesn't move. There's a lot of rumors the building's sinking on it. It's untrue, but the ground is sinking because it's built on top of organics. The best thing you can see to notice that is our little ramp here. That didn't exist when this building was built. If you notice that this was all flush. It came across flat right up to here, where this beam is sunk from. So this has been added to come up with time. And you can imagine what our underground utilities and things look like under there. There's crawl space under here as there is under most of the building. That's why this stays stable. There are times that ground is sinking underneath as well. There's times when sides of the buildings cave in underneath the grade beam that's under there. Other issues that you notice from here is, see those grates over there? Actual air intakes are under there for part of the building, sub-level pulling air. Not really a good idea. This makes it really hard to perform ADA entrances. They sink as fast as you put them on. You notice our windows, they're inefficient. Most of them are just quarter-inch plexiglass. Over time, they've all been replaced because of breakage. The exterior is just brick on, directly adhered to masonry block on the inside, thermally inefficient. It's gotten to the point, too, with age, that moisture absorbs too fast through it. Those are the things that jump out here. The roof is from 1986 vintage. They did do a top address to it back in 2000 to get 10 more years out of it. It's now 2013. It's past that, and it's starting to leak again. So we have some major issues that have to be addressed no matter how the future of this proposal goes. So I think I've hit on the main points out here.
So now we'll head to the music room. This is our orchestra room. The jazz classes meet in here. Orchestra meets here. The symphony meets in here. But the most striking deficiency in this classroom is the low ceiling height. If you look at orchestra rooms in other high schools, especially brand new high schools, the ceiling would be much higher for the sound quality and acoustical purposes. This is like far too low for an orchestra room. The other issue in this room is the lack of storage space for the musical instruments. You can see we have things all over the room because we just don't have the storage space to take care of those instruments and the equipment. So those are the major issues in this classroom.
My big deficiencies with this area is the moisture. You can just feel it over here. As I said, the crawl space itself, that ground is sinking as well. Under this whole area, it's gone down so far that it's below the water table most of the year, and we're constantly pumping. We have to maintain air conditioning as much as possible, wasting energy, just to try and keep it dehumidified. There have been times in the past where the AC's been off. These rooms have almost turned white with mildew on instrument cases, things. So we're constantly cleaning, dehumidifying. You can just see how damp it gets by the bowing of the tiles in here. The new project will bring all of the mechanicals out of the crawl space, which is one issue, and then it will also deal with other means to keep the moisture out from in here.
So you'll see when we get to other areas that some of the environmental challenges, the indoor environmental challenges related to what Peter was just talking about, are constant. And so we address those and take care of them on a regular basis. But those are challenges for this building as it exists.
Not to backtrack, obviously the decision was made to stay at this location, but with advances in technology, that I'm sure that'll help, but it sounds like there will always be environmental challenges here that need to be managed in some way. Is that true, or can you really build this building where you don't have to deal with that?
I believe that a couple of things are going to be happening. Is the whole town's flood mitigation project will reduce a lot of the water problems. Like I said, the biggest thing is removing the mechanicals from down below and have a better mechanical system for airflow. And just dealing with moisture barriers between that and up here, we're doing. They have exhaustively looked at other places, and the only other viable spot actually has all the same issues as this place, which is over on the field next door. So.
But if you build it differently, you can get rid of a lot of these ongoing
yes,
issues.
yeah, and deal with them in a way that they won't be a problem in the future if that's addressed.
Okay.
And the proposed project addresses all of the deficiencies that are being pointed out, and that's part of the design. And on the exterior piece, the issue with the land sinking, those deficiencies will be addressed too, especially in a couple of major areas where the three major areas where we have three of the major areas we have those issues, which are out front. So if you've looked at the plans, there will be a 4,600 square foot addition coming out to the front. It'll be built on piers, the pilings like the current structure is, so will be solid. And then the entryway areas, which provide for all the walkways leading up to the main entries, provide the ADA accessibility, will be built on a concourse also, permanent. So that's one area right outside in the courtyard. We saw many people going into the cafeteria through the courtyard. There will be an addition built in there, about a 14,000 square foot addition that will house the dining commons and the new kitchen. And so, of course, that'll be built on the pilings as well. That'll take care of that area. And then in the area between the auditorium and the gymnasium, there'll be about a 5,200, 5,400 square foot addition that'll house the music suite. That'll take care of the deficiencies and address the deficiencies that we just mentioned. And then the remaining area between that addition and the gymnasium will be built anew. It will be a secondary entryway and main concourse which again will be permanent. And then all the other walkways leading to other doorways will be ADA accessible, and those have been designed to, I'm not the best one to describe it, but they design structures that are like fingers that come out of the foundation and hold those areas in place to prevent that sinking as well. So if the project goes forward, we'll begin construction next summer. And there'll be temporary classrooms, brand new modular classrooms that will be housed. The current plan is out in the parking area on the other side, about 30 temporary classrooms. And the first phase over the course of the summer will be to prepare the pilings for the foundation work for the additions, as well as the demolition of the first pod, academic pod closest to Steelings Road. That is scheduled to be 14 to 16 months. So if we start right after school, we're looking to have the new additions, which would be the commons and kitchen area, the administration guidance area, and the new academic pod, completed by the start of the 15-16 school year, and we'll be able to use those new structures right away. We'll move in.
The library will get redone in the first phase too. Right?
Yep, in the library, and you'll see the library, which is on the first floor here, looking out at the commons. We'll move up to the second floor, and we'll talk more about that. That's part of phase one. So we'll be able to move into that area. And then phase two is the demolition of the other two academic wings. Again, that's slated to take 14 to 16 months. And then we'll be able to, we would expect to move into those academic areas for the 16-17 school year, year two. So we'll have all of the newly reconstructed academic space available in 2 years. And then the third phase will be the renovations to the auditorium, the gymnasium, and the construction of the music suite. Again, another year. And for the 17-18 school year, the project will be completed. So that's the phasing plan at this point.
This courtyard was raised in the late 80s to be brought back up to the flush with the front, and you can see since then it's dropped another foot. And all the drainage runs through the courtyard.
And the new additions will not have any crawl spaces, so they'll be built right on slab, which further addresses that dampness. And
They'll drive pilings, restaurant pilings without it.
Take a look, if you take a look at this courtyard, there'll be an addition on the left half of this courtyard. This will be the new music wing, so the orchestra room and the chorus room will be in this area. And of course, in the new design, the ceilings are much higher and the acoustical quality of those classrooms will be nice.
And the new secondary entryway into the gymnasium, which is a facility that is used, all the time. There'll be a concourse that will be built here, and again, that'll take care of the settling in this project.
And when you look out here, none of these doors, when it opened, had any steps to it, just so you know. Those have been added with time.
What happens to the exterior bricks that you said were a problem? Are they going to be renovated?
In the
Completely
design,
replaced.
complete removal, that they're thermally inefficient.
I see.
They have to reduce weight of the project anyways.
So they'll be taken out? What
So
will
they'll be gone, there'll be thermal efficient panels. There's not final decisions on materials, but there's the concepts and ideas with the package there.
So the brick and all the maintenance of the brick is gone?
Is gone.
Has anyone done an energy analysis to see how much money would be saved on the operating costs of the new structure?
Yeah.
It's substantial. I belong to the EFPBC with these guys, and it's substantial. The Energy Management Committee, the Sustainability Committee, there's several town committees that have been involved in the project and helped us with the architects work on kind of managing the overall cost, which right now the high school, I think, represents 30% of the town's energy use. So it's a substantial reduction. I don't have the number for you, but it's been a cooperative effort to, that's a major objective of the project, to get those numbers down.
We looked at an application of chilled beam technology, similar to an induction technology down at MIT. Steve Lanou, who is in charge of the sustainable building program with MIT, is big on the sustainable subcommittee, and we looked at the technology there and compared numbers. So that's the direction we're going in. We are trying to achieve all the points of lead that we can feasibly do for the initial costs.
So does that mean we will be generating and supplementing some of our own power consumption? Wind, solar, geothermal? Any?
In this project, there's no state reimbursement for the solar. Once We're doing this with the design of having the ability of a solar field up on the roof, so that afterwards, we'll try and do a PPA, power purchase agreement. We have a couple other sites in town that were too small to be attractive, but once this one is here, we have the Vincent and the DPW and the Ambrose. So the goal is, once we have a significant number, we're gonna go out for that. It's a third-party hosting where we don't put up the money, we just receive the cost.
Yeah, it looks ideal. It must have more than an
Yeah.
acre of flat surface up there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and.
The reason we haven't approached it now is because the aging condition of the roof.
Yeah.
You wouldn't put it up there because the roof's failing until you
Oh, I
had a new
understand that,
roof.
yeah.
So it definitely is part of the design to capture that space up there.
But to be clear, the proposal provides for all of the infrastructure necessary to put a solar field up on the roof without,
Having to go back in. and
without
tear it
having to go back in and tear it
A
out.
building designed in the late 1960s doesn't meet the need of our current academic program. And this room is one of those examples. And up until 10 years ago, we had an auto program, an auto shop. That is gone, that is long gone. So this room was obviously designed for auto mechanics, but this room is currently used for our engineering courses and our robotics courses. So in a brand new high school, we would have a completely different kind of lab for those courses, but you can see this is just not adequate for the kind of courses that we want to offer now. And before you leave, if you take a peek at the room next door, that was our old metal shop. Now it's the CAD lab, it's a computer lab, computer-aided design. But it's just another room that was designed as a metal shop lab.
Right, and so it supports, that space that has the technology in it supports, of course, the workspace for the engineering technology courses, for the, and for the robotics work that gets done.
In 2007, I believe, we did all the exterior doors over. Those are thermally efficient doors. They'll probably need to have the pads done on the bottom, but there's also just, I could go on and on everywhere we go about the deficiencies in the building because of time and age and obsolescence. You come in here, all the years of the snow and ice, you know, the floor's falling apart. You'll see that under mats and entryways just from the kids coming in. You'll go around, you see a clock. That clock to replace is $350 to fit into the new system. So when you have failing clocks, you know, unless you're gonna do the whole system, it's very costly to maintain. All the doorknobs need to be replaced to ADA. To keep in the keying system and go with an ADA knob, each doorknob to fit this building is $450 a piece. It's just very costly to maintain this building without doing a holistic go-through. You walk down those nice green corridors, we've had opportunities and we've removed a lot of flooring, but that's all asbestos tile. It's maintained right, it's monitored by outside people, but to do any fix-ups, it costs a lot of money because you have to come and do that as asbestos abatement to handle that type of stuff. So, and just the sheer size of the building, when you come across a system that's failing, and you gotta replace it system-wide, the building's 280,000 square feet, so that's a lot of clocks, a
What
lot
will the
of
new one
doors.
be, by the way? How many square feet for the new building?
It's going to be about the same, a little bit bigger, where the superintendent can explain why we're getting to keep things that aren't within the size limits of the state. So we are benefiting in certain ways to add some space, but we're losing all that mechanical space to up here. So it's not justifiable to say we're getting the same space. It's repurposing and additions and moving what is downstairs upstairs. So.
Current building, as Peter said, is 280,000 square feet, includes 20,000 square feet of the basement space. So that's being decommissioned. It's not going to be in use. All the mechanicals are upstairs. And we're adding about 24 to 26,000, about 26,000 square feet with the additions. So although from MSBA's standards, the new building, they call it 304,000 square feet because they're still counting the 20,000 square feet in the basement. The usable square footage will be 268,000 square feet.
So there's no net increase in space, really, it's a wash?
Really, I mean, there is a net increase in space because the mechanical rooms won't take up 20,000 square feet. You know, today it's probably closer to 6,000 to 7,000 square feet. So when you take it all into account, there is a. But remember, that's based on a projected enrollment of 1,370 students. We now have, we're overcrowded now with about 1,150 students.
Are there projections for the high school population to increase or stay the same, or do we know?
So our kind of draft projections right now, every year we revise them as of October 1st. That for the beginning of the 2017 school year, our projections show we'll be at 1,325 students.
Okay, we're gonna head up to the gym now.
As you've been reading about or hearing about this project, both today, but before you came here today, you've probably heard the project described as a renovation addition project. We've talked a lot this morning about the addition part of it, but the reality is that in the academic pods, the 3 pods, it's not really a renovation. It really is a rebuild. It is a gut. We're gutting everything right down to the exterior walls. And then in the exterior, the bricks are coming off. So the CMU masonry walls will remain, but everything inside the pods are being gutted and then built back up. And so it really, for the academic wings, in all regards, with the exception of the foundation and the block walls, will be a new building. And we're able to, one of the things that accomplishes is it allows us to redesign some key spaces, key academic spaces, which we'll talk more about, but also it allows us to add 10 more core academic classrooms in that space. And that will address the enrollment piece. So the EFPBC has worked very hard with the designers to be able to do that. And in addition, all 49 of the academic core classrooms will be the same size, approximately 850 square feet. Now the 39 core classrooms we have range from a number that are 570 square feet to a number that are 1,070 square feet. Now you might say, oh, 1,070. The state standard is between 825 and 875 for high school. Well, we have I think 14 at about that size, the 1,000 square feet. But we can't chop those up. If we did, we'd be back to 500 square foot, less than state standards. So we have classrooms in those spaces which we utilize very well, but that's just the reality of the structure of that building. So the reason I'm saying that now is that while the academic wings will virtually be brand new, a new building on the foundation, the auditorium and gymnasium will be a renovation. So the auditorium and gymnasium are not gutted. We're taking advantage of the really key features and advantageous features that still exist. For the gymnasium, it's the very, very large field house type of a structure. If we were to build and this is about 26,000 square feet. If we were to build a brand new school, MSBA would only allow us or participate in the cost of a gymnasium that's 12,000 square feet. So by renovating this, we're actually gaining more space, very, very good usable space, not just for the educational program, of course, but as everybody knows, this building gets wide public use. So the renovation will be that there's painting, all of the mechanicals that are replaced, the infrastructure systems get carried over from the main building into the gymnasium and the auditorium, so those are all new. There's some additional program space, so our health, wellness, and fitness programs. There's storage on the other side of that wall that will be converted to a fitness room. That gives us another teaching station. There is a third floor room now, which is not ADA accessible, but the wrestling team uses it for their practice space. A new elevator will be installed in this wing. That elevator will be right-sized and go to the third floor, and that room will be renovated, so that'll be another teaching space. The stairway access will be renovated, and then there's another space on the other side of this wall, a smaller space, which we'll be able to use in terms of program, the health and physical education program, as some kind of studio space. So it could be a dance studio, it could be yoga, it could be any one of those activities that we offer. And in addition, those spaces, as the large gym is, will then be available to other organizations, outside of the school day. So the floor will be refurbished. The floor was replaced back in 2006 along with the bleachers, so those will remain. The floor will be refurbished. As I indicated, there's that lead silver to lead gold add alternate that is right now being thought about in the project. The one other add alternate is possibly replacing the gym floor instead of refurbishing it. But right now the plan is to refurbish it. And so that's kind of the level of renovation that will take place here as opposed to the total rebuild that occurs in the academic world.
Excuse me, I was very surprised by your comment that all classrooms are homogeneous in size. Doesn't that hurt our flexibility? I mean, it's not what Showcase Cinema does, not what corporations do.
Yeah.
They either do modular
Yeah.
partitions or whatever. So I think you're handcuffing yourself in terms of the versatility, because all classes aren't homogeneous, but you're making all classrooms homogeneous.
So that's a good point. Programming as well are 2 large group instruction spaces, so that gives us the flexibility for large group instruction. And then there are a number of small seminar rooms that are programmed into the space as well. Our goal for the majority of our program is to have class sizes of 20 to 22. So the state standards are based on those kind of class sizes. So those are English, social studies, math, foreign language classes. So what we like about the homogeneous nature of it is that it does give us flexibility. And what it gives us flexibility about related to is how we organizationally structure the school. Right now, the school is structured by department, so by learning area. So when you go to a certain place in the building, it's the math department, the social studies department, etc. What this does in terms of flexibility, and this is one of the major goals of the school committee and the EFPBC in thinking about the design, is that we want space that can be flexible for changing organizational structures. So if we want to organize down the road the educational program in teams, so we have English, social studies, math teams together, supported by a science lab, we can do that, and the space necessary to house those programs is the same. If we wanted to organize the building by humanities and STEM, we have the ability now that we have classrooms that are the same size to be able to do that. And that was very important.
One quick question. I feel a little guilty about interjecting this, but we're all cognizant of the terrorism threats and everything, and I'm just wondering, is in the design structures, does that reflect the new awareness of exit and entrance points?
Great question. That has been a high priority in the design. I don't know how many.
There's over 77 points of entry of the building as it exists now, with no cameras.
that's drastically reduced, and there will be security cameras, there'll be controlled access, there will be a system where for off-school hours, the building can be the access to different parts of the building will be controlled through various means. So that has been a prime focus. As we've looked at layout for our educational program, at the same time, we've always considered what does that mean to the safety and security features that will be part of the new building.
And that's a web-based program as well, so the police department, fire department can log in and monitor the cameras and see who's coming in and coming out of the buildings
Right.
as well. And if you look at the VO, if you come and visit VO, you'll see some of what that looks like. A lot of it also has to do with visual entry. You won't be able to enter the building without someone seeing you, which is now common in all of our schools, but will certainly be enhanced here at the high school.
Just so you know, the town has been very proactive in this building, trying to do energy consumption. You can only do so much with it, but since 2004, we've reduced the energy consumption of the high school by 40%. Through motion sensor lighting, converting to natural gas allowed us to do high efficiency equipment. So various things. We've been, as it is now, we've had many audits saying it's as efficient as it can be with the technology we have.
This is the biology area. We have adjacent is a chemistry area, which is really the mirror image of this area. And then in the A wing, we have physics. So the science area was designed, and you'll remember this, when once a week or once in a scheduled cycle, you had a double lab period, and then you went into the lab and you did your labs. And that's just not how science works today. Science is inquiry-based, it's hands-on. If kids are doing labs, if they're doing a lab that stretches out 5 straight days, the room should have the capability to do this. Here, this doesn't happen. The teachers are scheduled to come out, once a week or once per cycle to do their labs. In the new design, the labs will be built right into the classroom, so they'll be able to do a lab at any moment. These classrooms are tiny, far below the state standards for what a science classroom should be. You should take a look before you go. We could, if we have more than 24 kids, we're squeezed in these classrooms. 24 is a squeeze.
The envelope of the building is starting to fail. It's designed using sealants for windows. It was built when designed when there wasn't an energy issue. The roof here has started to fail the most. We've been battling smell issues, constant problem, constant patching of the roof. Recently, we had to go to town meeting for $100,000 just to patch the area above here that's been affected. It affects the teaching, classrooms get closed. It's more of this, not again type of atmosphere. So we're proactive. If you went through the classroom now, you wouldn't see it, but the whole roof system is of the same age. And this is just where it's starting. We have leaking windows. We go around sealing them. The moisture is getting through the brickwork. You can't stop that unless you go do a major repointing of the bricks. So coming down the next few years, if this isn't in sight, the actual project, the town's going to have to come up with a ton of money just to address the immediate needs. And all you'll be doing is keeping the water out with that money and not getting anything. There is no plan for this contingency with the town. There is no money in capital. So how it's going to happen, we don't even want to think about it. From my standpoint, this building is a maintenance nightmare at this point.